Today I will show you the aftermath of a track day event with my 911 Carrera T, where I went super hard. I followed cars closely, I navigated turns aggressively, I went super hard on my brakes, but all of that takes a toll on the car. I'll show you what that is, and I'll tell you what I'm gonna do about it. One of the most annoying and some would say damaging aspects of a track day event are all the tire chunks that are left on your car. My whole front end is peppered with these tire chunks. That happens when you have a heated session, you follow cars closely, the heated rubber chunks that break off from the tires from a car in front of you basically hit you, and that's what you're left with. Luckily, there's a solution that I have that will make removing these pretty easy. It goes without saying that you use your brakes a lot at the track, so you need to have a proper brake setup, at least fluid and track pads. In my case, I have it all, plus a proper big brake kit that I got from Keys. Unfortunately, track pads are very hard on the rotors, so we're gonna inspect how bad they got after my very aggressive track day session. And it goes without saying that the tires take on a lot of abuse, which is why I always try to run a set of dedicated track tires, such as these Falcon ones that I also had heat cycled. I also maxed out the negative camber, which preserves the outer edge, but you can still see the damage right here. See, there's a lot of sort of scrubbing on the outside because there's a lot of right-handers at the track that I went to. We're gonna take the tires off and we'll inspect it properly on the inside, on the outside, and also we'll see what's happening in the wheel well. The interior, for the most part, stays fairly clean. You do have to drive with the windows open, so if it's raining, this part of your car will get a little wet. In my case, we had a sunny day, so a part of the fact that the steering wheel maybe gets a bit of sweat from your hands, although in my case, I also run gloves. That's pretty much it from interior wear and tear. All right, let's jack up the car, let's see what's happening behind the wheels, and then when we put the setup back in, we're gonna put some spacers on because I don't like the flush look. Well, what have we here? This is the front tire. Since most of the turns were right-hand turns, that means this tire didn't sustain as much abuse as the other one, but you can still see the outer edge from some of the left-handers is still pretty worn. The inner part gets usually scrubbed from braking, but in comparison to let's say an all-season or a summer dedicated tire, you would have sort of rolls of rubber here. When you get a proper track tire, you don't have that. It wears pretty evenly. I'm very happy with that. The inner edge wear, if there was excess inner edge wear, it would signify a lot of toe that's been misaligned. But I did have the car aligned by a local shop. Shout out to Auto Couture Motoring. They did a great job with aligning this car. And yeah, this is the evidence. A nice, proper tire wear. But look at all the tire chunks that I still have stuck to it. You see, that creates some vibration at speed. But after a couple of hard braking sessions on the street, they should come off. But speaking of tire chunks, check this out. This is what is collecting usually at the end of a track day event. All these gigantic tire chunks. I mean, look at this. See, this is what gets collected here. This, I'm assuming, gets scrubbed from my own tires. So when I turn, I think they hop in here and they get stuck, not permanently, but when you have a set of light color wheels, you may see some imprints, which is why I love these black wheels. These chunks do come off easily, and I don't have to worry about any leftovers. So we're gonna clean them up and then properly wash them and then mount them back. And the wheel well. First shout out, obviously, TLG guards. Not only do they look very stealthy, but also they protect me from, you saw the rubber chunks? Normally, this side would be completely peppered. As you can see, yes, there are still some that get through, but very, very little. So the TLG guards really protect the sides of these wide-bodied vehicles. I will link these in the description where you can get your set, but I highly, highly recommend them for peace of mind. I run these. I also have full PPF on the car. I I still wouldn't drive the car without these on a daily basis. Now, big brake kit. Very expensive kit for the track, but it got the job done. In terms of pad thickness, I would say this is about 4 or 5 track days with these Ferrauto DS 3.11 pads, and they are still in an amazing shape. The rotor itself, you could tell that it's developing a tiny, and I'm talking about maybe, I don't know, less than a millimeter lip. So you could see that there's some wear and tear on the rotor, but still, in the wheel well, you would sometimes see some chunks, rubber chunks here and there. There you go. See, there's one right here. So we're gonna take out as many as we can. This is from some other event, nothing to worry about. But yeah, you see all of these tire chunks here. We're gonna have to clean up, and I'll show you exactly how. We'll also take this opportunity to clean the rotors now that the wheels are off. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna put a set of spacers for that added look. Now, in the back, the rear tire, you can actually see some discoloration from all the heating on the outer edge. Definitely when you put the power down, especially coming out of turns, these tires take a lot of abuse. They have significantly less life left compared to the front. I did do some drifting, nothing too crazy, but here and there. But yeah, they're still holding up fine. On the inside, you could still see some rubber chunks. And just like in the front, they come off pretty easily. We're just gonna have to wash it off, and we'll be done with it. Definitely a lot of brake dust, but that's to be expected from track pads. Speaking of track pads, again, lots of meat left in the back. Tiny, and I'm talking seriously, tiny lip on this, so nothing to worry about. Suspension is looking fine. Not even many tire chunks here. And that's also optional, but I also run a set of rear pads, rear TLG guards, so I don't have any spraying on this rear bumper, so it's less work for me to do in terms of cleaning. The turbos are looking fine. It's also good to see under the car and look for signs of leaks or anything. Everything is, for the most part, looking dry. The aftermarket headers and Sport Cats definitely went through their heat cycles, but I have to say, shout out to Sol for creating a phenomenal exhaust system. Not only do they sound great, but the quality is absolutely superb. Highly recommend it. So now, to clean the rotors, I actually use a set of wipes, because that is a very easy way for me to get into all the nooks and crannies, especially on the outside. And then what I do is I take a microfiber and I wipe them. Now, to wash the wheels, I mix my favorite product with my favorite wheel cleaning product. I do a little mixture, put some water in. I then take my mixture, and first I spray the tires. Then I use a microfiber towel and I just clean it. And the beauty of a microfiber towel is that you feel whether or not you've removed all the tire chunks. Then we flip it around, wash the outside. Before you spray the wheels, make sure the crest of the Porsche aligns with the valve stem, otherwise Porsche people will crucify you. And there you go, nice clean tire. We're gonna do the same thing to the other three. But before I put the wheels back on, I have some rubber residue that I want to clean on the inside, which now brings me to my next point. How do I remove these stubborn rubber chunks? There are many methods out there. What works best for me is the following. Mind you, my car is PPF, so I'm going to demonstrate it as such. But first, I wash the car. So let's assuming this car is washed or has been washed. And as you can see, these things are not coming off with a car wash. So what you then do is grab yourself one of these. Now, a couple of different products will work, but seriously, wet mirror finish from Chemical Guys absolutely works wonders, because this is what you do. I need a rag. You put some on the rag and essentially rub it on the area and use the product to clean off the chunks, you see? With just a little effort, just a little bit of effort, everything comes off. Now, the idea behind it is the following. You don't want to use an aggressive rubber remover, especially if you don't have PPF, because to me, it's not really good for the paint. It may not be good for the ceramic coating that you may have, but if you use something like this, not only does it remove the rubber chunks, but also gives you a shine. So it's a win-win solution. Yes, it's gonna take me a while to do it, and I'll leave it for last, but at least now you know the proper method of removing these nasty rubber chunks. And then when it's time for you to put the wheels back on, I recommend spacers. These are the world famous Keys spacers because they have these proper hub extenders which eliminate any wobble that you may experience with other aftermarket spacers. All right, wheel, Keys extended studs, and we should be good to go. I am running 10mm spacers up front and 7mm spacers in the back. It's time to move over to the other side. By the way, if you're jacking out your Porsche, get yourself one of these. And once the wheels come off on the other side, it's a very similar story. Starting with the tires, this is the more wear on the outer edge than the inner edge. In the wheel well, anything to write home about? Not much. Again, TLG guards, look at that. Almost perfectly clean. The back tire, I've got to say, lots, and I mean lots, a little too much for my liking, wear on the outer edge of the tire. Now what sucks is that these tires are directional, so I cannot swap left and right. Maybe if it's a dry track I could, on a wet track I couldn't, but if you have a lot of right-hand turns, the left side will take a lot of abuse with the amount of negative camber that I have there, and I believe it's maxed out. It's kind of out there. You can see how the tire is flat and then it kind of smooths out on the edge. So this took more abuse than the front, but so be it. In the wheel well, nothing really crazy. A lot of meat left on the pad. Anything to report on this side? No leaks, nothing to see. We are good to go. Let's not forget about torquing the wheels after everything has been reinstalled. Now we're gonna wash the car. Don't worry, this is my other bucket. And we're gonna try to get as much of that grime as possible. Again, look at all the spots. We're gonna have to take these numbers off as much as I like them. So this comes off like that. And these guys also come off fairly easy. Now, depending on your track day, some track events can provide these numbers. Some require you to bring your own, so people use masking tape. But what I do is I stick these numbers on my garage doors. It serves as a memory from a cool event. I know I'm not supposed to be washing it in the sun, but the car has PPF, so I'm not too worried about it. And then we're gonna bring it to the garage. This one towel, if you haven't noticed, dried this whole car. Amazing, get yourself one of these. I'm gonna link this and everything that I used in this video in the video description. So washing the car definitely removed the dust that was on top of it, but it did not remove the tire chunks, which is why we're gonna have to continue with my method. Unfortunately, that's going to take me some time because it's not the easiest thing to do, especially when you have a bright colored car. So don't let me bore you with this, and let me end it at this point in the video. I just wanted to show you that tracking your car is a lot of fun, but also comes with a lot of responsibility, not only on the track, but also in preparation for the track day event, but also post. So it's fun to say, hey, let's go to the track. You have to have a lot of time before and after to take care of some of the logistics. But if you have the time and patience to do it, it is absolutely amazing, because taking your performance vehicle to the track is one of the best things, if not the best things you can do with your fun car, aside from maybe taking your kids for a ride. But it's really a lot of fun. It teaches you how to be a better driver. It really shows you how capable these cars really are and how limited they are on the street. So yeah, that's why I do it. I will continue to do it. I will continue to replace some of the consumables like brakes, and I'm sure there's going to be maybe some turbo leaks later down the road. Who knows? But that's an investment that's pretty worthy of my time and money. And I'm curious to hear what you have to say. But also, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.